All right, let's talk about Justin Fields, the 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. And you could sit here and say, well, like, look at who they've played. You could sit here and say, well, Fields hasn't exactly lit up the scoreboard here. He hasn't lit up the box sheet. But I think he's playing good quality football, and he's playing Steelers football. And what does all that mean? Well, let's get into it. Let's start off with the play you see on your screen. So the way this is going to work for Fields is it's going to be a designed rollout. Again, a big part of what the Steelers do well, in my opinion, is they put players in positions to succeed. This is the kind of thing Fields is good at, so they run these types of plays. But they also, I feel like with the Bears, Matt Nagy would either never run these plays, and then they would try to just run 7 of them in a row, and then defenses caught on and then light up Fields. So it's I think the Steelers are doing a good job of sprinkling them in when it makes sense, not going overboard. But you see that one Fields runs this play action, rolls out towards the top of the screen, has an open receiver right here. This is Pat Freiermuth. It's not wide open, but there is a bit of a window. Fields is a bit off balance and running to his left, which as a right-handed quarterback, not the easiest of throws. However, Fields is able to make this throw. Say what you want about Fields. No one has ever questioned his arm talent, right? He can make tough throws, does that right here, and really good job by Fields, and good job by Freiermuth, good job by the whole Steelers offense. And this is a big part of what the Steelers do, right? Is they don't expect their quarterback to be the guy who wins them games. They just want a quarterback to come in and be able to make the plays that the offense is running. This one's another example where it's a 3rd down and 11 situation, and this is going to be just kind of looking towards your best player, which, again, find a way to get the ball in your best player's hands. That's what a good quarterback does. It's man coverage. It's George Pickens's route, and to be clear, best player on offense. Obviously, TJ Watt's their best player, but you know what I mean. Get the ball towards Pickens here. Let's see what happens. Fields is going to take the snap. He's going to not look there right away. Again, Fields come a long way in terms of back at Ohio State, always looking at his first option. Here, knows to use his eyes, freeze those players over the middle of the field a little bit, looks over, Pickens is open. Again, there's such a advantage having a guy like Pickens, who only had 2 catches in this game, but this is the big one. Fields makes the throw, they're able to get a completion. Again, it's not necessarily about making the most plays, it's about making the right plays and making the key plays for Fields, and that's what he was able to do, and that's what he's been able to do for the Steelers so far, and I think that's why I'm very interested in where he could go from here, because these are impressive plays, he's made some impressive plays. This next one's another one where it's a 3rd down and goal situation in a red zone spot. Obviously, if it's 3rd and goal, it's early in the game, and there's only 1 touchdown scored in this football game. This was the 1 touchdown where it's going to be a man coverage concept, and that is Darnell Washington's route on this one. Just kind of the classic goal line fade, right? Everyone's favorite. Well, when Fields takes a snap, there isn't a ton of separation, but to me, this is probably Fields' best throw of the day, even if it's one that's kind of a bit, could go overlooked a bit if it wasn't in the end zone. Watch where he's going to put this ball. Look at him putting it way towards the outside, which basically putting it in a spot where only Darnell Washington could make the play. He's not being overly aggressive. That was not going to result in interception due to where he put the ball, but he gave his player a chance. Darnell Washington makes a nice catch, but it was a really well-thrown ball. And this is the type of stuff that we like to see from Fields, right? Of just the kind of making smart decisions, and it's crazy that he's doing this at such a high level with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he's being an elite game manager all of a sudden. Maybe that's a bit too much praise after just 2 games, but he's so far through 2 games is doing a really good job. This one's another good example where what's going to happen on this play is it's a zone coverage concept. You see the route on the screen. Again, one that could work kind of underneath the zone coverage, just past the 1st down marker. Situation very important to talk about here, as this is a 3rd down and 4. It's Calvin Austin running the route right here. Fields is going to take the snap. He looks in Austin's direction, and Denver player is now reading this, trying to come over and make the play. But Fields just gets the ball out quickly, gets it to a spot quickly. They're able to pick up a 1st down. Again, this is a key play here, right? Because the Steelers would go on to get a field goal on this drive. So, you talk about that last play, turning 3 points into 7. This play turning 0 points into 3. Hey, you won by 7 points, right? And those are the 2 plays. So you don't necessarily have to be the guy who's running the whole offense. Can you make the key plays in key spots? So far, Fields is doing it. Now, I mean, got to go over here because I'm sure there's going to be some, whether it's Fields haters or just, people genuinely confused a little bit or just questioning, hey, okay, you can say all this about Fields. The guy went 13 for 20 for 117 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's not a particularly jaw-dropping box score, and I'm not saying it was a jaw-dropping performance, but I do think that there was some good stuff, as I mentioned. There were some plays that weren't really able to work, specifically something like this. It's a 3rd down and 8 situation. You have a receiver running a deep shot right here. It's actually Van Jefferson running this route. I still feel like I would like to see some wide receiver depth on some of these plays because, again, a good situation for the Steelers. An opportunity to get a big chunk play. Maybe, I don't know, could you get into the end zone here? Kind of ice it if you can hit on this play. Well, when Fields takes the snap, he, again, does a good job freezing the safety, looks over there, though. There isn't a ton of separation. That's definitely fair to say. Also, this throw just wasn't really able to be complete. As much as I like the kind of the short and intermediate passing by Fields and by the Steelers so far, much as I like this game manager stuff, the reality is it is hard to go on too much of a run if you can't hit the deep shots. You can win some games for sure if you can't hit deep shots, but you're probably not. Your margin for error is smaller if you can't hit on these plays, and so far they've kind of struggled a bit. That's why, while the overall, the defense is playing out of its mind, they're still 2-0. That's kind of why the Steelers' offense, I mean, still, through 2 weeks, they scored 18 points week 1, 13 points week 2. I mean, that still isn't good enough. It's been good enough so far, but when you go up against better teams, you got to assume you're going to have to be able to hit on a play like this or two. Also, I mean, I gotta bring this up. I don't know how this keeps happening. I don't know what's going on. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm getting Zach Frazier and I'm getting Justin Fields in a room, and they're just practicing snaps for an hour. They gotta figure something out. This is happening so frequently. You see, they had another incident where Fields was hit with the ball when he wasn't ready for it. Good job by the halfback to pick it up and not allow for a fumble here. That was Jalen Warren who fell on it. But it's becoming a trend. I don't know what's going on with the Steelers. They got to figure this out because it's happening on every game. It's weird. Again, people, you can say who you want to put the blame on. The reality is this is something that has to get fixed. It just does. It's been a mess a little bit for the Steelers. But other than that, again, good quality performance from Fields. I do think you have to keep Fields as the starter, even if Wilson's ready at this point. Fields has shown enough to me to say you can win games with Fields. If he does struggle, at a certain point, they play the Chargers next week, who are kind of a wild card team at this point. Not as in they'll be a wild card team, although they might be, but they're a team I don't know what to make of, quite frankly, just yet. Then you got the Colts, you got the Cowboys, you got the Raiders, kind of a lot of teams I'm not sure what to make of, even the Jets after this. So, a lot of question marks against the teams they're playing. But I think for now, I'm riding with Fields until it goes wrong at this point. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on all of this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.